Welcome to Mitford. I'm Sarah Thomas, director of the Mitford Museum, and I'm here to welcome you with all my heart, and I mean that with all my heart. We have so much to celebrate this weekend. It's the 4th anniversary of the museum. I know a lot of you were here 4 years ago for the grand opening. Thank you for coming back. We're about to begin building the Mitford Discovery Center across the street. Yes. And you may have heard that we're launching Jan's 15th Mitford novel. Well, Jan wanted to do something really fun with the launch of this novel, so I hope you all saw the opportunity to bid on. In the new novel, Father Tim writes Cynthia a private love letter, slips it into a book of poetry, wraps it in his favorite green paper, then it goes missing. His letter is the key that unlocks the whole theme of the new novel. Jan used that story as a model for her own handwritten love letter, which is behind this paper, inside this book. And she sealed it so I couldn't read it before I put it in here and wrapped it. And though it's written to just one of her readers, it has deep meaning for all. And the one reader who this letter was written for is Jennifer Major. Jennifer, are you here? Come on up. And the donation that Jennifer made to win that book will help support the Mitford Discovery Center. And then I think probably Jennifer can charge everybody $2 to know what's in it and make it all back. As most of you probably know, Father Tim has a prayer that never fails. You want to say it with me? Thy will be done. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. In my 4 years here at the Mitford Museum, I've had the privilege of hearing countless Mitford fans share how they've seen the kingdom come, if only for a moment, as they've stepped out of the difficulties of their lives and into the pages of a Mitford novel. It's not that Mitford's perfect. There are problems aplenty. But we get to see the kingdom come as Father Tim welcomes Dooley as his son. We see it as Olivia Harper gives Lace a safe place to call home. As Uncle Billy unfailingly loves his schizophrenic wife, Miss Rose. And even as Barnabas and Violet are discovered one day curled up together asleep. The Lion and the Lamb? Close enough. I think that's what we return to Mitford for, a taste of how the world might be if we'd only take the time to really stop and see one another, if we take the time to love, to forgive, and to live as if the kingdom has already come because it has. And now I have the honor of introducing someone who, like Jan, has a passion for making the world a better place. Bob McCreary is a former professional football player, the owner of McCreary Modern Furniture, a philanthropist, and most importantly, in my opinion, the kind of person who can flat out restore your faith in mankind. Bob's foundational gift has been key in bringing us to the point of seeing the Mitford Discovery Center become a reality. With ground broken across the street on August 15th, the Discovery Center will invite us all to explore, imagine, and create through a hands-on workshop space, traveling museum exhibitions, and our oral history library. Now please join me in welcoming Bob McCreary to the stage.
Oh boy, that's a hard one to follow. Welcome everyone to Hudson, the little town that could? No, it's a little town that did. And it continues to do. And I am very proud to say my roots are here, as Jan's were. This is where I first learned to be social, to be out, and I'm so thankful for the leadership that helped me get where I am today here in Hudson High School when I was here. So it is just an incredible place, and my real point today that I would like to make is the Discovery Center that's going to be happening. We need help. And if you want to make an investment in something where what you receive is greater than what you may invest, help Jan with her next major dream. That's the Mitford Discovery Center. I plan on doing my part. We already have, and so anyone, please help with this project. It's so worthwhile, and Jan and I have come back to our roots to do this, and it's amazing what's happened to this little town in the last several years. Where you're sitting now, 20 years ago or sooner, there was no floor. It was all eaten up with termites. And then the city took this over, and we had just a group of hard-working individuals in the Hudson area that had a vision and started renovating and bringing businesses in. And the crown jewel of this entire thing has been the Mitford Museum, now celebrating its 4th year. And people from all 50 states have been here, and people in this audience tonight are from all over the country. So we're blessed to have Jan Karon here, and we're so blessed that she has come back to her roots to help us move this little town forward. I thank you so much, and God bless all of you, and please help us with the Discovery Center. It is such a worthwhile thing that needs to be done for this community and the surrounding community. I thank you.
Well, good evening, everyone. Good evening. I can see most of you, and you look great. It's been wonderful spending this day with you. I'm Ann Smith, and I am the proud board chair of the Mitford Museum and Discovery Center. And we really are thrilled that you're here to share this once-in-a-lifetime event with our favorite author. I'd like to thank the many donors among us this evening, those who passionately believe that Mitford has a mission through the museum and the new Mitford Discovery Center. A mission to help underserved youth discover and cultivate their dreams and creative gifts. And if you'd like to know more, please see me after Jan's talk. I have a badge on that says the Mitford Museum Board of Directors, so you can look for me as soon as we're finished tonight. Here's a quick story before you get what you came for. It'll be quick. In 1947, Jan made a big decision for a 10-year-old. At her family home place, just 2 miles from here, Jan looked in her great-grandmother's mirror and said, "I'm going to be an author." She tells me she said it twice. I'm going to be an author. That proclamation would be carried forth in 24 books, including My Beloved, a book in which a man bears his heart in a letter that works magic in the hearts of others. That's a synopsis of what Jan does. She writes from her heart, and it works magic in ours. Ladies and gentlemen, our favorite author.
Thanks. You asked for it. I delivered. We did it. I wish I could really tell you what joy this is giving me to see you in the halls today, to see you under the tent, to get to see you upstairs and in the elevator, and just to see you here. You don't know how much that means to this little museum and the coming Discovery Center. It means we have your support. It means you stand with us. It means that you love Mitford, which brings up a question. Does being together tonight make Mitford real? Yes? Are we taking care of our own? Yes. Good, good. Well, so many people to welcome. We have CBS Sunday Morning with us. We don't have an air date yet, but they're the loveliest crew, of just a joy to work with them. And they're as impressed with what has happened here at the Arts Center, just as so many people are. I mean, as Bob said, we were kind of just a broken down building, and look what happened. Just look what happened. It's a miracle. So thanks to CBS, and also to my wonderful publishers from New York City. I've got such a great team. You know, a book doesn't just happen. It goes out of my hands into the hands of many professionals, and then we end up with something that I hope you all will love. I also have my own blood family here this evening. Don't know about your family, but I know that mine is hard to get together all at one time. And our family keeps getting smaller because, you know, that's what happened. People go on to glory. And so what's left of us is here tonight, and I'm going to ask you to stand and let everybody see you. Thank you for that. One of the reasons I love writing about Mitford, and of course there are many, is that I know what I have to say is going out into families. There are 2 and 3 and sometimes 4 generations reading the Mitford books at the same time. And it's amazing how many women have talked their husbands into reading Mitford. Heaven only knows how many husbands were dragged here tonight, but we're so glad to have you. I have history in this auditorium. I was in 5th grade when a high school student named Alan Setzer approached me at a baseball game. He said, if we went up into the balcony in the auditorium, we'd have a great view of the new stage curtains. He was the only boy I knew who wore a starched shirt to school and didn't say ain't. So I said, okay. So as soon as we sat down, he just reached over and gave me a big kiss. I'm 11 years old. I'm from Hudson. What did I know? But listen what happened. When that boy kissed me, I had an out-of-body experience. That's the truth. We were sitting right up there on the right. I don't know who's up there now, but anyway, an out-of-body experience. I've never had another one, so. But I saw myself rising up to the ceiling and looking down on these two little country kids watching the new curtains. He was a nice boy, he really was, but I have since stayed away from balcony seating. I can just see you all. Somebody in here tonight is going to be driving home back to the hotel. And the husband's going to say, hon, when I first kissed you, did you, by any chance, have an out-of-body experience? And she's going to go, not really. Oh, I had so much fun writing this speech for you all because I knew you'd be a good audience. So as you can imagine, this is one of the biggest days of my life, and I'm thrilled to share it with you, each and every one of you. Some of you have come like the wise men from afar. Some of you have driven a long distance. And I just want you to know how much I appreciate it. Even if you just had to walk a couple of blocks to get here, I appreciate that too. Because my characters are so real to me. I laugh with my characters, I cry. I wept a good bit in this book, but I laughed just as much. So if you weep or laugh, you'll know that I've been there before you. I was doing that, and that's how it got on the page. If I could have just one of my characters show up in the flesh tonight, I think it would be Uncle Billy. Uncle Billy was a missionary. He was a missionary. His mission was to make people laugh, don't you know? And Holy Writ tells us very plainly, laughter doeth good like a medicine. Uncle Billy left us a few books ago, so I'll have to just do this by myself. So a man fell in the lake down yonder road hiss, don't you know, when he was a-drownding. And he was a-hollering, save me, when a feller come along and pulled him out. Next day, the preacher heard about it, said, you ought to give that feller $50 for saving your life. Man said, could I just make it 25? I was half dead when he pulled me out. But did you hear the one about the feller over in Hickory who was looking for a good church? Well, sir, he searched around and found a little fellowship where the preacher and the congregation, they was reading out loud. They was saying, we have left undone them things which we ought to have done. And we have done them things which we ought not to have done. Feller just dropped down in the pew with a sigh of relief. He says, hallelujah, I found my crowd. Don't you know? Well, we've got flowers, and I brought a handkerchief, and it's going to be this way. I can't help it. So, it's been a long time since I gave you all a novel. And in fact, I said I would never write another Mitford novel. I said that several times, actually. Can't seem to help myself. I didn't think I had anything further to tell you, and you really whined about that. And look what happened. Look what happened. I remember when I used to write a book a year. That was a lot. My readers got really spoiled. Then it went to a book every 2 years. So after the first 2-year break, I had a new book coming out, and a woman ran up to me at an event in Richmond, Virginia, and said, "Oh, Miss Karon, I'm so glad to see you. I thought you were dead." And now it's been 6 years, and I want to thank you all for sticking with me. Speaking of dead, which we'll stop speaking of in just a minute, I love this. I saw a comment on Facebook the other day, and this is a first for me. A woman had recently buried her mother with her mother's favorite Mitford book. And so I was dying to ask, was it hardcover or paperback? You know, was it large print, a first edition? I mean, authors want to know these things. Oh my goodness, in My Beloved, Father Tim writes a love letter to his wife. He asked her, he said, "You know, what do you want for Christmas?" She's hard to shop for. And she said, "I don't need anything. I'm happy with what I have, but you could write me a love letter." Well, he wasn't too keen on that idea, but he thought about it. Now, how could he not fulfill her heartfelt desire? Hadn't she taught him to love more freely, to be a better man, to have a happier life? So he writes it, puts it in an envelope, tucks the envelope into a book of poetry, wraps it in green paper, and the phone rings. Dear God. And he doesn't even have time to change his shoes. Cynthia has the car, and he'll have to race uphill. So when he comes home, the letter and the book in their wrap of green paper, nowhere to be found. This personal, very private letter will soon be making the rounds of the town. And that, dear reader, is what My Beloved invites you to do. In these pages, you'll make your own rounds of the town, character by character. You'll look into their private lives and see how they, like ourselves, have grown since the previous novel. You'll hear on the street the big news about Edith Mallory. Remember Edith? Wait till you find out what happened to her as a child. On your rounds, you'll look in on Esther and Ray Cunningham, two of my favorite characters. He's 92, she's 93, and today is their 70th wedding anniversary. To celebrate, Esther ordered an orange marmalade cake. But there's a caveat. Both being diabetic, they're not allowed to eat it. Why I bought that cake, she said, I don't know. When the girls come, they'll all have a big piece and take home the leftovers. It'll be history when their husbands show up and do their damage, so have a good look. Well, that's a fine howdy-do, he said. We get to look at it sitting on the counter all dolled up and we can't eat it? Well, let's just look at it, she said. You don't have to eat it to enjoy it. Ain't nobody sits and looks at a OMC. This is making me nervous. Well, get over it, Ray. Just learn to bloom where you're planted or whatever. There's no way I can look at this cake and not have a piece. No way. Well, step out on the porch and get a hold of yourself. Look what it did to Father Tim back in the day. He was in a diabetic coma, for crying out loud. We could scrape off the frost and just have half a coma. Remember that. She says, all right, cut me a piece. Cut us both a piece. We'll just cut a piece and we'll split it. Now, if you go in a coma, I'm going with you. So we cut a piece and put it on the plate and licked the knife blade. You know what, Dumpling? I deserve a medal for putting up with you for 70 years. She says, I deserve a medal for putting up with myself. It's hard to be old and out of whack. He says, you're old, honey bun, but you ain't out of whack, I can tell you that. Well, now, don't mess up another plate. Just do 2 forks. Oh, mercy, he said, taking a bite. Mercy, mercy. Esther Bolick made a difference with that cake, she said. Carried one around to everybody and his brother, old man Mueller out there in the country. That old house with a porch falling off one side. And there she was every Christmas with a 2-layer cake that cost $100 to make. He said, oh, not 100. She took a bite, handed back what was left. And don't lick the plate, she said. I was raised to lick the plate. It's a compliment to the cook. He handed her an envelope, doll face, written in his best cursive. That's what he called her the first time they laid eyes on each other at the church picnic. He'd brought fried chicken and coleslaw, which he made himself. There he was, tall as a tree and so good looking it was painful. A man that's good looking is one thing. A man who's good looking and can cook is a whole other thing. The miracle was he was single. She opened the envelope and took out the card, which had a Snoopy on it, and read the message. I must have been drunk when I asked you to marry me. Could we rethink this over supper tonight? Fried chicken and coleslaw. Still yours, for better or worse. Mostly worse, but I can handle it. I'm so sorry. I don't know where, it's the flowers. What can I say? Will you bear with me? Okay. So while you're making your rounds of the town, one late afternoon, you'll see Father Tim walking home, wrapped to the gills against the cold and carrying a shopping bag. He's just checked off a few items on his Christmas gift list. The kitchen was smelling good. The scent of beeswax from the lighted candles, rosemary from the roasting chicken. He hung his jacket and scarf, kissed his wife, and put his pocket change in the mason jar. How was the town meeting, she said. I can only quote Lincoln's contention that you can't please all the people all the time, etc. She put on her oven mitts and brought forth the chicken, crackling in its herbed juices. On a brighter note, she said, what did you and the turkeys talk about today at lunch? He washed up at the sink. Well, the woeful state of newspaper publishing. Weight gain, wives, aches, pains, in that order. What about the wives? The MPD has issued Adele a new Glock 22. Oh, why? She never used the old one. Well, just one benefit of small-town, crime-free living, he said. And let's see, Fancy is having her knees done, 40 years of standing in spike heels. Out came the roast potatoes. Well, what about yours truly, she said. I'm dying to know what you said about me, and tell the truth. Would I tell anything else? Maybe in this particular case. Well, I said what everyone already knows. You're the dickens to live with. Bossy, a spendthrift, you sleep till noon, and your ironing basket is out of control. She laughed, which was one of his favorite things in this life. Her laughter had a sparkle and shine to it. He could feed on that alone. He took her in his arms, laughing with her. What could be better on a winter afternoon than a wife with a sense of humor who knows how to roast a chicken? As you make your rounds, you'll see Pauline Leeper standing at the Kavanaugh's front door, afraid to ring the doorbell. A few weeks ago, Pauline turned an important family gathering into a disaster. She's been sober 12 years, but she hasn't got the hang of truly loving the people she's hurt, especially her children. She's come to Cynthia, in whom she's never before confided, to say, "What's it going to take for me? What's it going to take?" Toward the end of their difficult conversation, Pauline says, "I feel so much shame for everything, so much shame. How can I see them at Christmas? How can I ever fix how I acted the last time we were together?" You can't fix that. Don't even try. Instead, try to see your children as God sees them. Bright, gifted, loving, and your darling grandchildren, Pauline, 6 of them this time. More grace poured into this family. Just soak up the joy of having all these lovely souls around you. Don't ask for pity. Don't ask for anything. And sooner or later, their love will come to you. That's a lot to try and do, but I want to do it. She took Pauline's hands, looked into her brown eyes. "I'll stand with you," she said. "You will?" "I will. And you really have to do only one thing. Be there. Just be there." Think back 30 years. 30 years to the opening lines of At Home in Mitford. He left the coffee-scented warmth of the Main Street grill and stood for a moment under the green awning. A bachelor. A man with a terrible longing to do better and love more. And that's what we have watched him do through 15 books. He is doing better. He does love more. He has ripened like a good camembert. like a decent Burgundy that's become a sublime Burgundy. So maybe book 15 really is the final Mitford novel, the curtain call of the series. The time when all the cast members line up on the proscenium and take their bows. Typically, the leads get all the best applause. After all, they've done the heavy lifting. They've had some of the best lines. They've gotten a good many of the laughs and a high portion of tears. But look what happens in the curtain call of My Beloved. Harley gets as much applause as Father Tim. Helene Pringle, easily as much as Cynthia, and so it goes. Everybody is deemed worthy. And there's Edith Mallory and Pauline Leeper taking their well-deserved bows. We love them all. They're all the best. They're all the person we'd like to have lunch with. Or in some cases, maybe just a hazelnut latte. I love this book. It turned my hair gray. I hope you can't tell, but this is the truth. It kept me up at night. It gave me shortness of breath and impaired my vision. All true. It made me miss entire holidays and the turning of the seasons. But I love this book because it proves how a letter of just 2 pages can demonstrate the power of the written word. Like most of my books, or like most of my work, My Beloved doesn't move like a bullet train. This train stops along the way for old friends, new beginnings, heartbreak, gratitude, forgiveness, and surprises. It gives us time to consider the pain of a family trying desperately to pull itself together this time, because there may not be a next time. I'm hoping that in the pages of My Beloved, you'll soak up all the joy I experienced in writing a book I said I'd never write. Dear readers, I wrote this book for you. And I ask just one thing. If Mitford is meaningful to you, please pass it on. Share the essential goodness of Mitford with the young people in your life. We have a lot of young readers. We can use more. Share it with those you hope will profit by reading and learning and seeking the best in others. So I want to thank you from my heart. And I hope I have many more opportunities to thank you. I hope that this is not the last book, but who knows? Who knows? But thank you for loving Mitford. And I would like to know that you feel this one truth in your heart. Mitford truly loves you back. thank you for coming. And one of the wonderful Putnam team is going to help you if you're interested in staying and, having a handshake, and we'll just look in each other's eyes. We don't want cameras and all of that going on in line, because I want to just have that moment with you. And we need to just make this orderly line, and she's very good at doing that. And I'm just so glad that I'll get to see each one of you one by one. Mwah! I love you.
She's such a pro. Allergies from flowers, wonky lights, strobe on and off periodically. Please stay seated for just a moment while we get Jan situated. We are going to form a meet and greet line. If you would like to say hello to Jan, then the line will form on this side of the auditorium. If you would like to just go ahead and exit, you can exit on this side of the auditorium. But stay seated for now. We are asking you not to take photos. Jan really does want to just connect with you and not be just a post on your social media. We're going to get you to exit. It's like church, y'all. We're going to get you to exit row by row. So some of our lovely volunteers up here are going to come up, and they'll designate row by row. If you do want to go ahead and head out, you can slip this way and go out that door. The bookstore is still open. We decided to go ahead and reopen during this time, since we're all going to be lingering here in a big family together this evening. So once again, thank you so much for loving Mitford. Mitford does love you back, and I think y'all heard what I heard, that there's probably another book out there somewhere. John.